Mind-blowing facts you didn't know. Cheese prevents nightmares. Eating cheese before bed stops you having nightmares, except for blue cheese, which causes really weird dreams. Manhattan is growing. New York is expanding Manhattan's shoreline into the East River, creating a buffer zone against future floods from climate change. Shrimp's hearts are in their head. Their exoskeleton divides it into two parts, with their hearts just behind their face and stomach. Night owls are smarter. People who stay up late and sleep in tend to have higher IQs than early birds. So embrace your late-night brilliance. Neanderthal Flintstone Factory. Archaeologists discovered a massive workshop in Poland where Neanderthals made thousands of advanced flint tools. Turns out cavemen were more sophisticated than we thought. Music chills. When songs give us chills, it's not just a coincidence. When we hear music, we like our brains release dopamine, a neurotransmitter associated with pleasure and reward. Yawning cools your brain. Yawning isn't just a sign of tiredness. It actually helps cool our brains. When we're tired, our brains overheat, which is why we yawn more. Shodan. People think black belts are the highest level of martial arts expertise, but the Japanese word for black belt, shodan, means first step. It's just the beginning of what's possible. Surgeon gamers. Surgeons who play video games make fewer errors in the operating room. A study revealed that gaming improves fine motor skills, hand-eye coordination, attention and depth perception. Dolly's look-alike. Dolly Parton participated in a Dolly Parton performance contest for drag queens and didn't win first place. If you try hard enough, you can beat the master at their own game. Male lions don't hunt. Female lions tend to be the primary hunters in their prides, while male lions lounge around, then eat the leftovers. Shakespeare invented the name Jessica. Shakespeare likes giving his characters memorable names, and made up a new name, Jessica, for his play The Merchant of Venice, now one of the top English names. Elephants hold funerals. These intelligent and emotional animals mourn when one dies, burying them in leaves and crying. Polar bears aren't white. They have black skin and transparent fur. Air trapped in their fur scatters light, making them look white. Selfies kill more people than sharks. There have been just 439 fatal shark attacks since 1958, just 7.5 per year. Meanwhile, 24 people perished from selfie-related accidents in 2021, such as falling off cliffs, tipping over boats, and even getting hit by trains. Plan B paradox. Having a backup plan can actually hinder success. People with a plan B perform worse and have less motivation. Keeping plans vague leads to better outcomes. Watching scary movies or visiting haunted houses releases adrenaline, endorphins, and dopamine. Your brain knows you're safe, giving you a natural high without the risk. Contagious yawning. Yawning when others yawn is a sign of empathy. People with less empathy, like young children or those with autism, are less likely to yawn when you do. We're more likely to help one person than address massive tragedies. Showing one hungry child gets more donations than statistics about millions of starving people. Memory bias. Beginnings and endings are easier to remember than middles. When recalling a list, we remember items from the start and end more clearly, while the middle becomes muddled. Doomsday fossils. Archaeologists finally discovered fossils from the exact moment the dinosaurs were wiped out by an asteroid. Fish, trees, and ammonites were all preserved. The world's oldest tortoise, Jonathan the Seychelles giant. Tortoise is a massive 187 years old, born in the year of the Alamo and the discovery of evolution. Canada has less gravity. In the Canadian Hudson Bay region, gravity goes missing. Convection and an ancient ice sheet left an indent, resulting in less gravity. Aviation, English. Airline pilots all over the world speak a special pilot language, a 300-word version of English used to communicate clearly between different nationalities. Ketchup was medicine. Ketchup was originally sold as a medicine. In the 1800s, it was used to cure stomach ailments. Negativity bias. Our brains remember bad news more than good. We forget compliments but dwell on insults. For every negative memory, we need 5 good ones to feel even. Free lunch tastes better. Food tastes better when someone else makes it. A study found that when someone else prepares food, the anticipation enhances our enjoyment. It's better to know. It's less stressful knowing something bad is coming than being uncertain. Our brain predicts consequences more actively when it doesn't know what to expect, as a way to regain control. Rule of reciprocity. We're programmed to return favors. This helps keep society working smoothly, but some take advantage of it. When stores offer cheap freebies, we usually spend much more money in return. Rule of reactance. When one rule seems too strict, we rebel. We break the unfair rule, then break more rules in order to regain our sense of freedom. Kentucky meat shower. In 1876, chunks of unknown meat fell from the sky in Kentucky. Witnesses described it as meaty snowflakes, but the origin and nature of the meat remained a mystery. Blood red rain. In Kerala, India, a type of bacteria called Trentipolia turned water blood red, which rained down like a vampire rave party. Seafood storms. In Yoro, Honduras, fish falling from the sky, known as the rain of fish, occurs up to 4 times a year. Nobody knows how the fish got there. Tadpole downfall. In Japan's Ishikawa prefecture, tadpoles mysteriously rained down from the sky. Despite investigations, no definitive explanation was found. Spider paratroopers. Picture waking up to thousands of spiders falling from the sky, covering the landscape in webs. In Goulburn, Australia, spiders migrated by using webs as balloons in an extraordinary synchronized event. Explored places nobody has ever been to. Yucatan cenotes. Undiscovered cenotes in the Yucatan Peninsula remain hidden treasures. These sacred sinkholes formed by rainwater offer unseen beauty and intrigue. Surtsey Island. Formed by volcanic activity in the 1960s, it remains pristine and off-limits. Its untouched nature provides valuable insights into how bare rocks become vibrant islands. Gangkar Puensum in Bhutan is the only mountain on Earth that has never been climbed. It's sacred in the local religion, which makes it off-limits to adventurers. The deep. The majority of the Earth is ocean floor, and only 1% has been explored. The Titanic is hard to reach at 4,000 meters down, but the Mariana Trench is over 3 times as deep. Lake Vostok. Deep beneath the Antarctic ice lies subglacial Lake Vostok. Reaching it would require tunneling through miles of solid ice. The most dangerous places in the world. Darien Gap is a dense jungle between Panama and Colombia. Over 1,000 people disappear each year due to drug traffickers, guerrilla fighters, and dangerous wildlife. The Fukushima exclusion zone in Japan. After the 2011 nuclear disaster, this highly radioactive area became off-limits. Some urban explorers risk it all to witness the haunting aftermath, despite the risk of radiation exposure. Mount Everest. With deadly avalanches, extreme weather, and oxygen-deprived altitudes, over 300 lives have been lost attempting to conquer this majestic peak. Bolivia's Death Road. Stretching for 43 miles with narrow, winding roads and sheer cliffs, this treacherous mountain pass claims the lives of around 200 to 300 people every year. Ciudad Juarez City in Mexico is infamous for drug-related violence and organized crime, with thousands of homicides annually. Not the safest place for your next family holiday. Craziest DIY attempts. Larry Walters attached weather balloons to an armchair to float in his yard, but instead soared to 10,000 feet. He shot balloons to descend and landed at LAX, where he was arrested. Flat earther Mike Hughes built his own rocket to see space and prove Earth was flat. Unfortunately, it blew up. Turns out rocket science is harder than it sounds. Wannabe terrorist K. Ronajet made a fatal mistake. Not only did he write his real return address on his DIY bomb, he forgot to add stamps. When it got returned to sender, he thought it was a gift and eagerly opened it, getting an even bigger surprise than expected. Mass shooter Colin Ferguson represented himself in court, but did a bad job as DIY lawyer. He argued the killer was a different guy with the same name who looked exactly the same as him. But the jury didn't buy it. Henry Anhalt learned how to fly a plane on the spot when the pilot lost consciousness. He successfully landed, saving himself and his family.